Greetings, I am a text-to-voice, computer-generated narrator named Elizabeth from a company called TXTOmedia. Now, we will hear an interview with one of my creators.
Well, that was sure a great introduction because it wasn't me. It was kind of. It was the text that I wrote, and you, Wouter, your company translated that into some audio, and we put some images on it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what TXTOmedia does?
Yeah, TXTOmedia is a technology firm. We are a SaaS offering, and we help large firms to turn their written materials, written instruction materials, so to say, into videos.
And so it's pretty straightforward. You put a script in and you get a video out?
Yeah, well, what we actually take is the already existing manuals, what technical documentation departments write, for instance, the topics and manuals, like we all know them, how to charge, how to clean, or how to get your staff trained. That kind of information, which is already in your systems. You create PDF and print from it. That same source is now ingested into the TXTOmedia platform, and then we bring the text-to-speech, brings a timeline, of course, already in audio, and that's what you start to illustrate, maybe with the illustrations you already have. That's what our technology can do. Or we bring it to animations, or we give you a call sheet. You start creating video fragments, which are clean, no audio, no text, and then we map it against the content from your manuals, and then you have video. Live action video even, yeah.
Interesting. So you can use the assets that are already there, and I guess if you want to, you can actually add video elements like you're showing there.
Exactly. So these were clean elements, and now they can be, of course, combined with German language or Chinese language or English language, same with the text on screen. And that actually helps our customers to provide localized information to their staff or to their channel or to their customers, yeah.
And so you take care of that text to audio part of it as well, which is a difficult part.
Exactly. So the text to speech is of course the basis, because that's already the basis for the video, the timeline, and that differs of course per language. German tends to be a bit longer than English, etc., etc. And we work fragment based. So every fragment, audio fragment, gets illustrated with that drawing or that video fragment or piece of animation. So you make sure that the video per language is in sync and can be distributed, and updated.
And it sounds like you have a video editor as part of the deal, so you don't need to go to a third-party editor.
No, the editing is actually done by the software, but you can intervene if you like, but you shouldn't. It's done automatically,
And I suppose you have videos on how to use the video editor, right? Because a lot of people who are technical writers aren't necessarily video editors, right?
But they don't have to become one actually either, because they write their text, and of course they have to learn how to write for audio. That's a difference, because it needs to be a little bit more conversational storytelling style. Otherwise it doesn't sound nice to do, then it's too directive. But from that moment onwards, everything is automated, so nobody needs to edit anymore. That's exactly what the platform does for you. So you still need to make your visual media assets, the pictures or the drawings or the video fragments. That's of course what you still need to do, but you do not edit, you do not post-produce, only color grade, and that's it.
But you can, if you find you made a mistake in the documentation, you can edit it very easily?
Exactly, and you need to do that in the source. That's what we say. We like single sourcing. So do it where you already do it for your PDF and print, so all your channels are in sync. And that's also why these large firms like to use this, because it doesn't matter if you read the PDF or watch the video in any of their languages, it's in sync.
It stays current, and this kind of harkens back to your previous company of digital asset management, right?
Absolutely, of course. This idea came from my former company when we actually dealt and managed large amounts of video and rich media content. But talking to the departments which were not marketing, they hardly had any video. And when you ask why, because it's too hard to make all that video, localize it, pay for it, or manage the processes. And that's what brought this idea to us,
Yeah, so in a sense, you're not really putting video editors out of work because it was an application that didn't really make sense right before.
No, before it didn't. But nowadays, you and I, when we need some assistance or support from the companies, from the brands, we tend to like video, right? That's why we
tend to go to YouTube, but some amateurs put together, right?
Exactly, and what is the reason why the brands are not on YouTube? Maybe this. It's too complicated to cover everything in any language and update everything. So that's exactly our starting point, how to enable them.
Excellent. You mentioned the software as a service type of business. I assume it's a per seat license type thing?
No, it's more paper video. So it's not per seat, because there can be many people working on your departments. That shouldn't be a limit. We actually let you pay per video title.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like you've had great success. You've been around for like 18 months. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, we are on the market now for almost 2 years now, and now we hit the States here at CES, of course, and let's get started here as well.
So what do we have to look forward to in 2022?
Hopefully for us. So we are now starting here, and we typically address the consumer electronics and the automotive, etc. But it's not only the end consumer materials. We are also into the training. So we're also helping companies to train their staff on how to perform better or to be consistent, especially in hospitality, where you have a lot of personal changes, of course, and different staff working on different languages, but also in the automotive and the factory floor to instruct the people. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. There's a lot of content there. Now, do you help with the management of the assets as well?
Yeah, we do. The system actually more or less manages all your fragments. So all the pieces that we put together to create your video titles, that is typically kept in our system. And then the end product, the videos itself, well, they are distributed via your existing channels, or you put them in your digital asset management system and publish them. That's of course not our case, not our part anymore of the game, but our endpoint is that video file.
And again, you charge on a per video basis. What sort of cost would we be looking at?
It's volume-based pricing, of course. So the more, the less you pay per title. But think about $200 per video, and that's far less than what people tend to pay for a video when they make it manual, right?
Exactly. I mean, you'd spend that much time just talking about what the video is going to be before you even put camera to paper.
It's crazy, of course. And still, your media assets can be quite expensive if you have, of course, high-end fragments created. But not everything should be or could be high-end. Right. Especially the factory floor doesn't need the Hollywood productions, right? You can film it with your iPhone, or even ask the service engineers to film the procedures themselves and empower them that way. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate your time.
Thanks for the interview.
Thank you.